Greetings, this is Kim Fujikawa. I am a history instructor at Pikes Peak State College, and today I'll be talking about presentism and anachronism. I'll be using the terms democracy and republic for the sake of our discussion just about interchangeably, and I'll also be using the term citizenship to show the ways that these have fluctuated over time and the nuances. Beginning with presentism, it is always important when I begin a semester with my students to remind them that while we will be using and researching terms and civilizations that will be described with similar and familiar terms like democracy and citizenship and republic, they will have quite a different reality and will include quite different people. It would be anachronistic to place the ancient terms and descriptions on a medieval society or civilization, but it would not be presentist. The difference being the presentism comes from us in 2025. Anachronism is simply placing the wrong definition or concept on one historical region or time, no matter which it is. So, if we are beginning in the present with the understanding of a democratic republic like the US and what citizenship is for a woman who is married to a man who has military status, immigrant status, and with children who are considered to be birthright citizens. This would be quite a different definition in the Roman Republic of antiquity. Of course, birthright citizenship and naturalization and being a military class of society will mean quite different things between antiquity and the year 2025, separated by an entire ocean. This is going to be completely different worlds that we are looking at or comparing. It would be anachronistic for me to assume that a woman who is married with children from today might have the same experience in the Roman Republic of antiquity. It would also be presentist. It would also be anachronistic for myself or students to place the standard of antiquity on a medieval or Renaissance city-state that happens to be termed as a republic. The citizenship will again look different. The stipulations, the standards and privileges will look different. And the way that one can lose citizenship will also look different. For most of history, the ability for women to gain citizenship is going to be very difficult, but it will fluctuate depending on the region, the period, the government structure, and how she takes the journey to citizenship. But for most of history, it is not going to be assumed that women are a citizen. And so it's important for a student or a scholar to find that context, understand, and determine whether or not it is a reality in antiquity or in the Renaissance or even in the early modern period. citizenship is going to be something that eventually is more difficult to have stripped, but again, that will be determined by the place and time. And so it is very easy for anachronism to seep into somebody's expectations when researching a place or a region in a historical period that they are unfamiliar with. Okay. We are all subject to our bias, and that is just really points to the importance of research. I'd like to point students to an activity today where you will choose one civilization or one region of the world, and you are going to be tasked with researching 2 different periods of the past. Separated, I would like to see by antiquity and the medieval period, so that we can compare to today's civilization, their government structure, their citizen standards and privileges. And at the end of this activity, I would like for students to do some journaling on what anachronism they might run into if they were to present this research to another classmate. That is my time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this video.